Hello, friends. All right. I am excited to kick this off. This is 45 Go Longevity Edition. And what you're going to expect, or what hopefully that you get out of today's session and lecture, is a better understanding of HRV, resting heart rate, VO2 max, and why that this should matter to you, that you should care to follow these things, and how it's going to improve the overall quality of your life. All right? The reason why that we started with 45 Go was to help you guys do weight loss and to be able to learn some healthy habits on your nutrition and to be able to lower your body fat percentage, learn better food habits. But today, I didn't want to teach more of the same. I wanted it to grow. I wanted you to be able to get better and add more to the arsenal, okay? So before we get started, what are some of the things that you guys are hoping to take away from today? Go ahead, and we're gonna start with just so that I have a better understanding of what you're hoping to get, because if I can weave this in to the meeting, then great. Anybody have anything that they have questions about before we get started?
Like fasting and breakfast situation.
Okay.
There's so much different information that would be helpful to know what's best or what works better.
Okay. What else? Yes, JJ.
My own personal phase 2. Phase 1 was being here for a year and not quitting.
Yeah.
We did that. So now I'm ready to just figure out how to sustain it and bring it all together.
Great.
I'm working, I'm not eating, but I'm going to go now. So yeah.
You're gonna love today. What else? Have no clue what that is. Great, we're gonna go into it.
Different zones.
Different zones, great, we're gonna go into that. And why that matters, okay? Anybody else? No? Cool, well then let's get into it. So today, we're gonna start with stress, okay? Friend or foe? Stress is a part of everything that we do. Exercise, work, relationships. Take a pick, okay? You can get stress from getting in your vehicle just because of traffic. That's me. That's why I choose to live where I live, and why I don't like to drive very far. So stress, it can come in many different forms. It can come from difficult conversations, okay? It can come from just the things that we put inside of our brain and give power to. Use stress as positive stress, so that is what drives growth and adaptation. That is something that you guys are here for, right? That is what exercise is. It's a positive stress. However, some of you equate that to negative stress because of like, oh man, I don't know what that workout is. I don't know, I suck at that. I can't jump. I can't do this. I can't do a snatch. And you apply all of this unneeded pressure and stress on you that have no reason. Like you don't need to do it. Which leads to distress, which is negative stress. It's chronic. It's unmanaged stress that increases risk for disease and low immunity, which then leads to what? Getting sick. And then, which can lead to cancer and all these other things that kind of go with that. Chronic stress is that what leads to a higher allostatic load and the body's wear and tear. Some of you have jobs that are incredibly stressful. That is chronic stress. And your body does not have the ability to determine what is good and what is bad. And some of you come in here, and I love what we do here, but you think that you gotta go hard all the time. Your body's just not built for that, okay? You're like, I gotta go hard. Yes, there are days and times for that. but I'm gonna break this down so that you have a little bit of a better understanding behind the veil of what we do for programming and why that you should show up on other days. And if you're only on 3 times a week, you should upgrade to your membership. Just saying, some of you. Okay. Heart rate variability, HRV. Who is the first time that you're like, I heard of it, but I know nothing about it? Raise your hand. Okay. This is the next wave in fitness. In the next 10 years, this will be everywhere. You guys are literally getting in on the early stages of what this is going to be about. So HRV is the measure of how your nervous system adapts to stress. Heart rate variability. The higher HRV, the better recovery, resilience, and performance. So, what does that mean? You can have milliseconds. It is milliseconds of your heart rate in the beats that you have. The lower that it is, the sicker that you are, or the closer to sicker that you are, or the higher the stress that you have, or that you've done nothing to even be aware of what you're doing. You don't have any clue of what your sleep is like, and you've always been, I just got bad sleep. No, it's not true. And it's all of these things that we're going to unpack here today are things that you guys can improve on and work on. So, a higher HRV score, okay? So, and it's different from each person, okay? There are certain people, so myself, when I get to, mine is on average of 63, okay? It's okay. But Shu, his is unbelievable. His is over 100. And the reason why I know is because we share a Whoop data that I'm able to see where his is at, and I'm going to go into Whoop and Oura Ring and all that stuff wearables later. But all of this stuff here is that the lower that your score, the worse that you are. The higher the score, the better that you are. And all we're looking for, in the same way as it is with weight loss, is averages, is improving all of those things incrementally. You cannot take this and go, oh man, I'm gonna go and crush this and it's gonna go up to 130 overnight. It's just not gonna work. It doesn't work like that. It is slow, intentional work. Come on in, sit. You good? Cool. So I don't want you to think that this is going to, I'm going to start working on this and you expect instant results out of this. When you first started, some of you on this journey here, the first time that you grabbed a barbell, it looked like trash. But then over time, it got better. You have to have that same level of expectation with this now, in the same way that when you showed up to work out here. It's going to take time. Multi-day drops may signal fatigue, poor sleep, or illness. For example, if you follow me on social media, you'll know that I have been improving the backyard. I had 6 yards of gravel dropped off, plus road base and decomposed granite in addition. So it's roughly about 10 yards of total dirt and rock and all that stuff. For 2 days. One day was 4 hours, the other day was 11. On Tuesday, I went out there, I reached a strain of 14 or 15. It took me, I was about 50% recovered that next night. And I was okay, I'm able to go out and do things and I was tired and I felt okay the next day, 50%. The next day, because I worked so hard and so long moving all of that stuff, I was not recovered the next day, and my HRV score was below 50, signaling that I was not recovered at all, and I should not be doing any, and I felt it. Like I slept really poorly, and it, like when you put in a lot of effort and work, I don't know if you guys are like this, but I was really poorly recovered, and it just didn't work well. So I took the entire day off, and then I prioritized recovery. I did a sauna session, and then just moving and walking, okay? The next following day, my HRV score went up, and I was recovered because it signaled to me that based off my HRV score and how much sleep that I got and my rest and the decrease in my resting heart rate, I was recovered, and I was able to go and try and do more movement. Now, just because you have a higher HRV score does not mean that you should always send it. I got onto the platform yesterday. I went to start lifting. Within like the first lift, my low back was like, "You bastard, be careful." And I was like, that did not feel great, and I was slow. Even though all of the numbers say, hey, you can go today, you still have to listen to your body and know that just because the score says certain things does not necessarily mean that you should push the intensity on that day. You still have to understand you take in your age, how much sleep you got, how your eating was, and that's why this evolution of what we're teaching today is a piggybacking off of the other two 45 Go programs that we ran. So this is exactly that. Multi-day drops may signal fatigue, poor sleep, or illness. The trends matter more than the day-to-day numbers. When I look at my averages, that's what I care about. I'm looking to see improvements, and it's just like when you do weight loss. What happens? Is it the same as every day? Chris, tell us about it. What happens?
It's like a rapid staircase.
Yes. How much weight have you lost? 63 pounds. And how many months?
6 months.
So it's a staircase. It's descending and just goes up and down because you're going to have heavy days and then you're going to have light days. And don't be taking that as like, oh man, it's working. It's just understand that one great meal does not mean that you're going to be skinny in the morning. I know. That also doesn't mean that go and eat whatever you want whenever you want. Okay? So the trend matters more than the day-to-day numbers. Pay attention, play the long game. Okay? This is how it's going to look. Week 1, and this is like, if you get your score into the 90s, oh boy, that's freaking awesome. That is a great HRV score. Even if you're at 88 or 86, that would be, that would be great. I'm not even there, okay? But just for visualization of the chart, week 1 is here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this is only going for 6 weeks, okay? But this is what we're going to see. Like, this would be great, but it may not necessarily happen like this. It may go up and then go down for week 3 because you didn't eat well and you had a bunch of processed foods and then you didn't sleep well and then you started drinking alcohol. Alcohol, I can tell you right now, will tank your HRV. Like one glass, 2 glass, 3 glass, doesn't matter. It will tank your HRV. You will put all of this work in. And then you'll be like, why isn't it moving? Because you are putting poison into the system. And it will not recover. I can trust me on this. Yes, Billy?
Okay, so I'm wondering, is it, because like last time I had like 2 non-alcoholic beers.
Uh-huh.
Is it the alcohol or is it like the sugars and so is an egg beer going to do the same thing?
So it's the alcohol that has the greatest impact on the HRV score. Now, to also piggyback off of that is that sugar has that same level of impact with me. And it's going to be variable to the person. If you got a massive sweet tooth, I know who has massive sweet tooths in here. I ain't gonna start calling you out one by one, but I know who you are. You're substituting the alcohol for the sugar and the chocolate. Last night, Chris, let's see. She wanted froyo. She waited too late, okay? Because froyo was closed. So she's like, that's it. I'm ordering ice cream. 2 scoops from Bloomfield's with the Mackinac fudge and brittle, cookie brittle. It's awesome. They're from Michigan, okay? And she got big chunks of the fudge in there, and it's real Mackinac Island fudge. Mackinac Island is from up in Michigan, the UP. All right, it's awesome fudge. It's so good. But and so we get it because of the fudge and because of the ties to Michigan, and anyway, because I'm from there. So the important thing there is that she's like, I had lost it on Milo last night because Milo's my dog, and he had gotten stuck underneath the entertainment center, and he was choking himself out because of my cords. And then he was pinning as I tried to pull him out, he freaked out even more and pinned my hand up underneath the entertainment center and was crushing my finger because he was freaking out. And so him and I went at it. It was bad. And I full on raged. And she came out and she's like, hey, calms everything down, gets him out, but he was choking. It was bad. And so then afterwards, I'm just laying there on the couch, in a catatonic state of what have I done? She goes, I got some, would you like some? And you know what? It is a normal response, right? We want to feel good and be like, I'm okay, and do the thing. I looked at the time. She goes, there's a lot of heavy chunks in there today. Because sometimes we get it and it doesn't have it and we're disappointed. She's like, there's a lot. And I looked at the time, and I said, no, I'm good. Why? Not because I'm some amazing, saint that practices all the best things, but because I know that if I have fudge or sugar or ice cream an hour before going to bed, I'm not sleeping well, my HRV is gonna be in the tank, and I'm still recovering from 2 days prior, or just because I had recovered enough from Wednesday does not necessarily mean I'm fully recovered yet. I'm 45 years old. Stuff has to, it doesn't recover the same way as being a 20-year-old. So you have to start learning these things because you look at the data and then you can make decisions, and then it's not emotional. So I made a logical decision not to give in to my emotions based off of data that I have been able to have. You may go, well, that's easy for you, you're a cyborg. I am not. I love ice cream as much as everybody else. I just make sure that if I'm gonna have it, I position it at a certain time of the day so that it doesn't impact my sleep. Okay? Because then, if I have it, then I can go for a walk and help my body start to digest it. Okay? So these are some of the tips and the tricks to the trade, because this is what we're looking for. Now, HRV trend, improved with hydration and self-care. Here's the thing. Here's how you can actually improve it. Let me go back to this real quick. Hydration and self-care are the 2 greatest things to improve your HRV. Hydration is not just drinking copious amounts of water, but making sure that you have electrolytes inside of your water so that it gets into the cellular level of your body. So when you drink water, add salt to your water. Don't be like Lena and add a tablespoon. Okay, she was like, it was too much. I said a teaspoon. A teaspoon first thing in the morning with 18 to 20 ounces of water will start your day. I gave it to one of my semi-private clients at 4 p.m. He goes, I didn't need coffee. It started my day. It was great. And it will get things going, if you know what I mean.
What is it? What?
Teaspoon of Redmond sea salt. Redmond sea salt. Getting you going is a number 2.
No, I know.
Okay. Yes, so do I. So a teaspoon of Redmond sea salt first thing in the morning into 18 to 20 ounces of water. If you take a lemon, we have Meyer lemon trees outside my house. I cut half of that lemon, squeeze that in, and now it's then you don't need an LMNT packet. Yes, sir.
Is like pink salt, like Himalayan salt?
Yes.
Just like table salt?
Yes, don't use table salt. Like if you're just going and using table salt, it's not the same. Yes.
I have a question on HRV in general.
Okay.
Not about hydration. When you say heart rate variability, what's it vary on? What is changing? What's the variability?
It's the waves inside of your heart rate. Okay? So the variability is the milliseconds of that happens. And so when you look at a QRS wavelength, that's your heart, okay? Nurses, okay? You're gonna find that your waves are going to they're in a rhythm, they're in a pattern. But based off of your stress levels, that can vary day to day. Based off of your nutrition, that can vary day to day. The easiest ways to impact this is from hydration and self-care. And food, okay? But even if you did nothing with your food and you just started drinking half your body weight in ounces and adding teaspoon in the morning, you're gonna add hydration to your body and allow for you to have enough water to be able to function. Most of you are dehydrated. People are chronically dehydrated. When you start adding more water, it will change on how your HRV is impacted. And then self-care, that can be done through praying, meditation, sauna sessions. There's not cold plunges per se because of what that does to the heart rate. It's a massive spike. So you're looking for things to stretching, like foam roll. Like if you guys were to set aside a 30-minute routine at night, okay, hear me out. And you did 10 minutes of meditation, 5 to 10 minutes of stretching or meditation, praying, then stretching or foam rolling, and then reading a book, I can tell you that you could get off of all of your sleeping medication. You'd be like, I'm out. And you have you don't touch your phone at all during that time, you will go to sleep. You will not need anything extra, whether that is a medication, whether that's THC, CBD, does melatonin, you will not need it. It will improve and you'll be able to sleep. It's fantastic, okay? So these two things, hydration and self-care, will greatly impact your HRV. Okay? Ray, you had a question, you put your hand down.
Yeah, you answered my question about what kind of salt.
Okay, great. Redmond sea salt, you can get it at Sprouts. They have a little bag, but they also have it in like the little salt packet. Or I'm sorry, in like a canister. So yes, sir.
Is there anything like a difference between describing like any, like a pink sea salt, the same thing, like a Trader Joe's?
So I'm giving you the information that I received, and this is from a doctor saying Redmond sea salt's the best, salt out there. So I'm just saying, hey, passing this on. I didn't do a deeper dive on that. But my mother-in-law was in Korea, and Koreans love their skincare and all of like the beauty side of things. There's apparently a better level grade of salt that they use that's like really hard to come by and really expensive. I don't know what that is, but she's like, it's very expensive. I was like, it's cool, I'm good.
I forget the gentleman's name, but he's a health guru, and there's a Baja sea salt. I can only find it on Amazon, because I couldn't find it in the store, where it has all 91 minerals that the body needs to make
Uh-huh.
It's out Baja Gold sea salt. Baja Gold sea salt. So, like, if you were to YouTube the gentleman where he talks about like how to get it right, it's just, he's a total health guru.
I'm sure I know who that guy is. He's trying to reverse aging.
Yeah.
He's like 60 years old and like,
Well, he looks young. I don't know.
no, he's, huh? Yeah.
But he always says the same thing you do, but he goes to the top of the, and then he said Redmond sea salt number 2.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, and the reason why that those trace minerals are inside of that sea salt is because all of our water is stripped of those things. So our reverse osmosis water system in here, as great as it tastes and as good as that is for you, if you, like, this is the next thing in my journey, is if I were to add trace mineral drops into that, it would give those things back to it and it would make it balanced and it would be a better overall water. I tell you guys some of these things that, like, I will go in front of you on and do the work and do all the stuff and then bring it to you and say, hey, this is how it changed. That's why, like, the supplements that we recommend are the ones that I take and that have worked. So the other stuff, you're like, hey, what about this? Nah, I tried it, didn't work. I went to this place, it didn't work. Like, I will try it, and I will look at the data and then go, oh, my lifts went up, this improved, then it would be beneficial to bring it to you guys. So, research findings in HRV with aging. Chronically low HRV is linked to chronic illness 10 to 15 years earlier. Low HRV accelerated biological aging. Case in point, since I've been wearing my Whoop, my age on Whoop from my biological age is 34 and a half. Not bad for being 45 and a half. Because of the habits and the things that I work on. Just because you get a 30-year-old haircut does not necessarily mean that you're 30-year-old. But I'm trying to embrace new things. So poor sleep, poor habits, and unmanaged stress equals a lower HRV. Raising HRV is slowing your biological aging. Yes, the things that we do here in the gym improves your overall aging and makes you harder to kill, okay? It does. You can outlast the zombie apocalypse, maybe. You can run faster, you can jump higher, you can move more weight than the average person. That's great, but now let's make sure that you outlive them, okay? Here's the 8 controllable framework. These are the things that I need you guys to focus on. Now, we're not gonna focus on this stuff inside of the challenge itself, but this is how you can do it. So screenshot this. Exercise. Check, you're here. Nutrition. We're gonna work on it. Hydration. Sleep. Immune function. Environment. Self-care. Mindset. Looking at this 8, do we focus on all 8 at one time? No, you sicko. It's impossible, okay? Focus on 2 controllables. Build habits. Measure your HRV impact. Focus on it for 2 weeks. I'm gonna focus on, out of these 8, here's what the thing that I can work on. Now, the only thing that I can tell you here is immune function is at a cellular level, and I'm not, like, it's gonna be really hard to work on. You're gonna need multiple blood panels a year in order to work on that. I'm telling you now, you're starting to see some of this in trends, is that blood work, and I can tell you in the next couple of years, you're gonna see programs that you're gonna be able to do this quarterly, and it's recurring. And you're gonna be able to know, in the same way that you jump on the InBody, you're gonna be like, cool, I'm ordering up blood panels and it's gonna come to your house. You'll self-inject, or it'll prick you, it'll suck the blood out, and then you'll send it off, and it'll be done quarterly. That'll become a normal thing. And it will be the same thing as what it is jumping on an InBody going, oh, cool. Why does that matter? That's your blood. That is your blood, that is your DNA, that is the makeup, so that if you're impacting things at a cellular level, you can go, oh, maybe I should stop eating this. Oh, maybe I should stop drinking this. Oh, I'm deficient in vitamin D, I need to get outside more. Whatever that is for you, your blood's gonna tell you. Mine said that I had high fat cholesterol, like the bad cholesterol, it wasn't bad, but that was my area that I needed to work on. And I looked at like my food and I go, what do I eat consistently? Besides the pizza that we have on Friday nights. That's not gonna make my cholesterol bad. Yes, Joy, I have pizza every Friday night, okay? Joy's new, everybody. If you haven't met Joy, she just got started yesterday. So the only thing that I can look at that has high fat content that I have every single day would be a cappuccino at 2 o'clock when Mark and I go to have coffee-ish, right around there. It's not every day with me and Mark, but like I'm pretty consistent with that. That's the thing that I can look back and say that may be the one thing. But that's just one area. Everything else was looking great. But you want to pay attention to those things so that you can go, what areas of my life do I need to improve on? Because it's more than just your squat, your deadlift, your bench, right? Your clean, your snatch. We have to look at the things that we are going to impact us internally for a longer time. So the immune function is something that is going to be a longer game. Environment, where you live, where you sleep, like having an air filter system is important for you to make adjustments on. And going like, huh. So in my house, we just ordered a bunch of we have only 2 showers. 2 shower heads that have filtered water because our skin was starting to feel a certain way, like was really dry, and my hair was really starting to thin, and it's not because I'm 45, all right? Maybe it is, but I'm gonna look at the things that have impact in my environment and go, what can I change? Is it maybe this? Maybe it's just advertising, maybe it's just marketing, but I'm gonna try it. So how can we change our environment and the things that like, how's my sleep? Is it cold in my room? No, it's not. There's no fans. There's no, my bed is old. Oh, I sleep next to somebody. There are some people that are like, they can't sleep next to their partner or spouse because they're a mess. They're kicking and moving and all that stuff, and so next thing you know, they're sleeping in 2 singles. Self-care, mindset, so all of these things, focus on these components and start small, choose 2 controllables, build habits, measure your HRV impact. For example, having half your body weight in ounces for hydration, and you're like, oh, look at that. I focused on these 2 things and my HRV went up. It's little improvements. Self-care routines, prayer, breath work, sustained HRV gains. You're looking at the long term. HRV is not moved quickly. So you have to be consistent on it. It's very frustrating, I can tell you that. Building stress capacity. I want you to train smart using HRV to guide your workout intensity. I spoke on this a little bit earlier, but HRV, for your intensity purposes, is not the cure-all, okay? And it shouldn't be like, ooh, I'm only 50% recovered. I feel great though. It's just a metric. But I use metric plus my body plus awareness, and I still make good decisions like, oh, my back isn't feeling great. Wonder why, okay? Because I ended up doing this 1,000 times over 2 days, and it was loaded. So of course, my hips are tight, my back is short, my range of motion is limited. Look, I'm still limited because I'm stiff right now. If I wait, if I wait a little bit longer, I'm gonna be able to go there. And it's just like you take in information and you make better decisions when you have information at your disposal. Prioritize recovery, sleep, hydration, balanced nutrition. The recovery part of your sleep, consistent sleep every night will make your body's ability to recover and improve your HRV single-handedly. So if you go to bed the same time every night and you wake up, I can tell you right now, over the last 3 months, I start to wake up at 7 o'clock, like clockwork now. My alarm is set for 7:05. So anywhere between 6:50 to like 7:03. Like today, I woke up at 7:03. The alarm was set for 7:05. Great. That's how you want to wake up. Nobody wants to be like, eh. And that spikes everything to start the day, and then it ruins the day. When you have a normal sleep schedule, it changes everything. So if you have to wake up because you have a 5 a.m. client, maybe you got to go to bed earlier. There's only one of you that has a 5 a.m. client in here. But the thing is that you start to prioritize and you find the things that you need to make adjustments on. Manage your stress, breath work, okay? Sitting, like guided apps for this is awesome, okay? Just put in your headphones, sit there, lay there on the floor, focus on your breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth, regulating your central nervous system. If you have the ability to go to a sauna, doing nasal breathing only inside of a sauna will lower your stress and improve your HRV. I have a lot of data on that. Low intensity cardio. I'm going to get into this later. And mindfulness. Live intentionally through small, consistent habits and greater resilience. The other thing, this right here, to live intentionally. For those of you who are stressed out of your mind and have high stress jobs, or you're just a stress ball, you need hugs. You need hugs. Okay? You need human connection. If you are single, you live alone, you need to find ways to get around people that you care about and that you love and that love you. And then you need hugs daily. I can tell you that if you track this, and let's just say that if you're single and you spend the day with just your friends or your family, maybe you like your family, maybe you don't, but either way, just for the example here, you spend it with people that you love, and then you go to sleep and you wake up and you're like, no way, I'm fully recovered. You lived intentionally. You were around people that love you and care about you. It is deeply wired in us that you need human connection. It is not good for us to be alone. So don't live alone. Live around other people. That's why you're here. That's why Pendulum exists and the way that we designed it, so that it is this community. We cultivate this. We built this so that when you meet people here, hey, you're excited. You get to see them. They give you a hug, and then you go out to eat with people, and then you keep showing up because it is wired inside of all of us to be able to want that. And as we grow as adults, it's so hard to find friends. It really is, because when we're in our 20s and you're in college, you're like, oh yeah, and then you have your party group, and then everybody graduates and moves away, and then next it just gets smaller and smaller, and then and then John met Yoko and broke up the Beatles, and then it's like, man, we're the best band in the world, thanks to you, Yoko. And then you meet her or him, and you get married, and then you have babies, and then it just distance, and then you're like, well, what? Get around people that love you, that care about you, and I can promise you that these small little things will make you more resilient, and you'll have a better HRV score. Not that is the main reason why you do that. So here are the impacts of the habits on 8 controllables: exercise, nutrition, hydration, sleep, immune, environment, self-care, mindset. Look at this. Tell me, what are the biggest improvements? Yeah. All of those things are inside of your guys' control. Nutrition is there, but it's not that much, okay? That's why when we talk on this later, it's not going to be the main focus of this. Because if I can focus on other things inside of your guys' lives that have lasting impacts that will make you guys healthier as a human, that is, nutrition's a big part of that, but I need to expound upon this more than just weight loss, okay? All right, so resting heart rate. Train your heart, don't drain it. Your heart is a muscle, just like your biceps or your quads. It adapts the stress that you put on it. When you do aerobic conditioning, low to moderate intensity exercises like zone 2 cardio, AKA Thursdays for us, brisk walking, biking, or swimming, you teach your heart to pump more efficiently. That means more blood with less effort. Somebody who has a phenomenal zone 2 cardio in the gym is actually Andrew McIntyre. Because he does, surprisingly, for being a large man, he does a lot of cardio. He's got so he can go out and just run or be on the rower or on a bike, and it doesn't really tax him that much because he's worked on it. It takes time to work on it. And when you first start, it looks like this. It's ridiculous. You're like, really? What is zone 2? Zone 2 is there's zone 1, or actually there's zone 0, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. Zone 2, take your age right now. 220 minus your age. 220 minus your age. Then 60 to 70% of that is your zone 2 range. Okay? And you're like, really? 120 beats a minute? Yeah. If you want to improve your aerobic conditioning, you'll spend 2 hours a week in that. 2 hours. Okay? I'm going to make it easy for you. We give you 1 if you show up on Thursday. Show up on Thursday, you're going to get 45 minutes to an hour there. And then on Sundays, I recommend you go outside and you work on this on your own. Now, zone 5, I'm going to get to this. Zone 5 is maximum heart rate. Both of these things play a massive role in your resting heart rate because you're impacting it on ends of the spectrum. Some of you do a really good job of going there. We do a really good job of pushing the envelope here because of the high intensity nature, but we're really bad at the zone 2 stuff. That's why I say a conversational pace. You know who's really good at the conversational pace stuff? Shari. She's like, absolutely. Okay? She'll talk the entire session. But if you want intentionality in your training, use a heart rate monitor or a Whoop to be able to notice that, and you can watch that and you can set it for the zones in there. You watch it and it'll tell you when you're in the zone. Not auto zone, yes.
Question, because when you buy life insurance, they do a whole heart rate thing.
Uh-huh.
And the guy asked, he's like, are you a runner? And I said, I was a runner. And he's like, oh, I can tell. Because your heart rate. How do you know that? I don't know.
So, great question. Resting heart rate is, does anybody know what Lance Armstrong's was? His resting heart rate? 30, it was 36 to 38. Unreal. So back to this whole entire thing. That means more blood with less effort. Just chilling. Just super low. When he's climbing the Alps, and he's doing Tour de France, I don't care if he's doping or not. The doping wasn't going to fix the fact that his resting heart rate was so low because he spent so much time in zone 2 training that his capacity is just massive. So that when he went to go hit a zone 5, he could withstand it because he had enough blood to be able to do that. So over time, right, the stroke volume increases and your resting heart rate comes down naturally. Case in point, Lena, who comes at 5 o'clock, our first 45 go, I told you guys to do what? Walk every day. 45 minutes, walk every day. When she started, her resting heart rate was 82. bad. It's bad, bad, okay? That's like you're heading in the wrong direction. After 6 weeks, drop down to 59. Great range, okay? That means it doesn't, your heart isn't working as hard, for layman's terms, okay? You're in a much better overall place. And your HRV will go up, your resting heart rate goes down. Don't just hammer yourself with high intensity every day. Balance it. Build a foundation of aerobic health so your heart works smarter, not harder. That's why Thursdays are so important. So you show up on Thursdays because it's gonna help you recover, it's gonna help you improve that zone, and you're going to be a fitter overall, well-rounded adult, okay? So it's not always just like, hey, I need to go hard. Recover like a pro, sleep like it matters. Number one way to lower your resting heart rate is to let your body fully recover. Sleep is where the magic happens. Growth hormone is released. So if you ever wanted human growth hormone, your body produces it, but the only way to get to it is through deep sleep. You should be averaging 40% of your night. Should be 38 to 40% of your night should be in deep sleep or REM sleep. If you're dreaming, you're getting REM sleep. Okay? If you're not dreaming, you're nowhere close. And you're not recovering. It's the easiest way if you don't use a wearable that you can try, be like, I can't tell you the last time I had a dream. You're not getting there, okay? Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Maybe that means going to bed at 10 and getting up at 7 and you're like, I literally was there in bed the entire time. I only sleep 5 hours, Drew. You gotta train yourself to improve that. Create an evening ritual, breath work, prayer, journaling, and shutting down screens before bed. Consistent sleep improves heart rate variability, which in turn lowers your resting heart rate. Sleep isn't lazy, it's leadership over your body. You need to take control of those things and work on them. Are you noticing a trend here? Hydrate, breathe, and reduce noise. Dehydration and chronic stress elevate heart rate. Most people walk around 10 to 15% dehydrated. If you ever come into a workout and you're like, man, I'm just sluggish, I'm tired, you're dehydrated. Okay? People take pre-workouts because they're trying to get out of that. And what happens in most pre-workouts is that they include electrolytes inside the pre-workout. So then you're like, oh, I'm kind of bouncing back. And then they dose it with, not creatine, but with caffeine. And then it's like, boom, boom. And that's how they're like, it's effective. I'm gonna get after this workout. No, you just were dehydrated. You need more water, okay? So drink your body, half your body weight in ounces of water daily. Also, when you don't have enough water, your blood gets thicker, forcing your heart rate to beat faster. And in constant sympathetic stress, phone notifications, busy schedules, emotional chaos, and your resting heart rate skyrockets. Okay? That email, stressed out. I can single-handedly tell you that my stress dropped when I hired that guy. I passed all the stress on to Mark. Yeah, just get yourself a mark and your HRV will improve. He's not for hire. Yeah. So add electrolytes if you're training hard. If you're outside and you're sweating and you're doing yard work, or if you come to the gym and you prune all of the vegetation at the gym, and you're sweating doing that. There's only one person that does that here. We appreciate him and our beautiful plants. But add electrolytes if you're like, man, I'm sweating a lot today. Add electrolytes because you're losing water. LMNT is the one that I would trust. Do not get liquid IV. the first ingredient says sugar. Don't do it. Okay? So the cheap poor man's version is just salt, Redmond sea salt, and a lemon. Okay? That's the poor man's version. Or LMNT is the one I would recommend. Practice 5 to 10 minutes of breath work or prayer daily to shift from fight or flight, rest, and digest. Another way to help this is to go for a walk after you're done eating to help your body digest. If you are in a relationship or you have somebody that you care about, you can do 2 birds, 1 stone. That you need to connect with a human being. Hey, I gotta go for a walk after dinner. You wanna go with me? Sure. Boom. Connection. Like, it's a simple hack. It does not have to be a long walk. It doesn't have to be for 45 minutes. It can be 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and that will help increase digestion, especially who eats past 8 o'clock. This is not a bad thing, okay? If you go to bed at 10, your body hasn't even digested that food yet. That is like the worst case scenario. Give yourself 2 to 3 hours. So if your last bite should be at like 8, okay? And watch what happens to your sleep. And then you'll be like, oh, I don't have any more heartburn or indigestion, okay? The more margin that you create in your life with hydration, breath, and presence, the calmer your nervous system, the lower your resting heart rate. Another easy way to improve that is going to be walking. Literally walking. So remember, your resting heart rate is a reflection of how intentionally that you are living. It is not just a number, it's a scoreboard for your internal capacity. Steward your body like the temple that it is, and watch how much stronger, calmer, and more resilient that you will become. I can promise you, don't treat your body like it's something to be punished for the things that you ate. And the workouts are a means to punish because, oh, I did this and I got to go out and do this hard workout. That is the wrong way of thinking. Oh, I had an entire bag of chips. I need to go for a long run. No. Make better decisions. Workouts are the celebration of what your body can do. The stuff here in the gym shapes the way that your body is and the things that you guys can handle. So quit punishing yourself for it and start to love and respect the things that are happening here, okay? And you will be healthier for it. VO2 Max. This is going to be the predictor of longevity. A low VO2 max is as significant a risk factor for mortality as smoking, diabetes, and hypertension combined. It's supported by JAMA and Mayo Clinic studies. VO2 max declines by 10% per decade after the age of 30 in sedentary individuals without intervention. This accelerates biological aging. Guess what we do really well here in CrossFit? VO2 max. Why? Because we're able to hit high-end thresholds in short amount of time. A higher VO2 max correlates with a lower all-cause mortality, longer lifespan, and improved health span, living longer without chronic disease or major medical intervention. So, how do we test for it? Well, a wearable, okay? Or you can do the Cooper test. The Cooper test is 35.97. Just take a picture of this. If you do the challenge, it'll be inside the challenge. VO2 max is 35.97 times distance in miles. Okay? You're gonna go out for a 12-minute run. 12-minute run. And you're going to see is how far that you can go in 12 minutes. Okay? So it has to be 12 minutes. I forgot to add that part. 12 minutes, you go out, 35.97, start your clock, boom, go out, you finish 12 minutes, oh, cool. I got a mile. Give me a second. So 35.97 distance of miles minus 11.29 will give you your VO2 max score. Or you can do it in kilometers. Either way. But notice that the distance here, 11.29 and 11.28 matter. The 22.35 and the kilometers is different. Just make sure that you get that right. Yes?
How well are you allowed to warm up before your 12-minute run?
Well, you should warm up, always.
How well?
Are you sprinting? If you can hold it for 12 minutes, well, you can't hold a sprint for 12 minutes. I have. Same, like you guys are very similar in how you guys run. You both send it though, and you both train at the higher end ranges. That's what, like, if you, but you do specifically. I know that because you post your stuff, and I'm over there on Instagram judging you for your splits and times. So if you post it, I'm gonna sit there and be like, shouldn't be in that zone, just saying. But it's fine, I'm happy that you moved. But all that to say is that, like, you're not gonna be able to, zone 5, you cannot hold a zone 5 for more than like a minute, couple minutes at a time. It's physically very, very difficult, okay? So holding a zone 3 or 4, like 4, you can do that very well because I've seen your splits and times. You can hold zone 4 very long.
How well are you allowed to warm up before your 12-minute run?
Well, you should warm up, always.
How well?
Are you sprinting? If you can hold it for 12 minutes, well, you can't hold a sprint for 12 minutes. I have. Same, like you guys are very similar in how you guys run. You both send it though, and you both train at the higher end ranges. That's what, like, if you, but you do specifically. I know that because you post your stuff, and I'm over there on Instagram judging you for your splits and times. So if you post it, I'm gonna sit there and be like, shouldn't be in that zone, just saying. But it's fine, I'm happy that you moved. But all that to say is that, like, you're not gonna be able to, zone 5, you cannot hold a zone 5 for more than like a minute, couple minutes at a time. It's physically very, very difficult, okay? So holding a zone 3 or 4, like 4, you can do that very well because I've seen your splits and times. You can hold zone 4 very long. So zone 4 isn't necessarily a sprint. It's just hard effort, okay? So go as hard and as far and as long as you can. VO2 max, as the body's oxygen language. VO2 max measures how efficiently the body utilizes oxygen during intense exercise. Oxygen is the most essential element for life. When oxygen is present, disease is absent. When oxygen is lacking, disease thrives. What do you see people in hospitals, nurses? You got that O2 up in their nose. I gotta breathe. And it's being made for them. We can add more oxygen by taking care of our bodies and training for that. A higher VO2 max improves cellular health, resisting mutation into cancer cells, immune function, better inflammation control. Who is sore for like 4 days? Okay? That right there is better inflammation control. Improving your VO2 max can do that. Brain health. Protects against Alzheimer's, dementia, and cognitive decline. I have a ton of this in my family. Because of sugar and no exercise. My aunt was the family historian, like knew everything about everybody, like multi-generations, knew like deep inner workings of everybody. She has dementia now, remembers nothing. Can't even identify my dad as her brother. Sad. She spent her entire life working on the family stuff, and she cannot even remember it. Class is finished. I'm kidding. But you guys have that ability to control this stuff. This is all within your control. VO2 Max will allow for that to happen. You don't have to get these things. Alzheimer's is now known as type 3 diabetes because it is in your gut. You have the ability to change those things. All right. So training protocols to improve VO2 Max. To increase your VO2 Max, I need you to follow intentional programming. Guess what? You pay me, you come here, I handle it for you. Lucky, okay? Most places, or if you're watching this on the internet, you don't get that. But here's how you can do that. Zone 2 training is 120 minutes per week at 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. Steady state cardio like biking, running, rowing. Thursdays, we do that here. And then I would also encourage you to do it on Sundays. So if you do 120 minutes a week, you're gonna hit your Zone 2 stuff. Cool? Zone 5 training, 30 minutes a week at 90 to 100% of your max heart rate. HIIT style sprints, intervals, sled pushes, Mondays, Tuesdays, and some Saturdays, okay? If you were here today, up, down, up, down, up, down. What we're trying to do is get you guys to maintain that Zone 5 for like holding for a minute and then your partner takes over. It's by design to make you guys healthier, fitter, and better human beings. So some of this stuff you guys are like, oh, I hate these kind of workouts, or like, oh, no, it is by design to make you guys better. It's not just like, maybe this will work. It's designed for you. So regular testing, Cooper test, wearables, or a lab-based graded exercise test, which if you want to go and do that, that's great, but not necessary these days, ensures adaptation and progression. Since I started tracking this, I have moved 5 points from 48 to 53. I'm now in, I'm not in the elite, but I am in high. So I'm like, yes. Anything that is above 50 is a good score. You can have a really low resting heart rate and a high HRV and a crappy VO2 max. Okay? So that can still happen because you sleep really well, you're really well connected, and you go for walks. You can have those two spectrums, but have a really poor VO2 max because you don't train the other things. So even modest improvements from low to below average percentile can cut all-cause mortality risk by 50%, while moving into above average levels reduces it to nearly 70%. If you want to live longer, if you want to avoid sickness, just do the stuff that I have programmed for you here. Just show up and you'll improve. If you don't, you're going in the other direction, and it will happen quick because our body seeks out homeostasis. I'm happy here. I don't need to move. I'm okay. When you're in your 20s, hey, you want to go out and do something? Yep. 30s, it's a little less. 40s, I got my desk job. It's great. Okay? So improve those things before you're forced to make those improvements. Metrics, so let's talk about now where we're going with 45 Go, the longevity edition. Here are the things that we're going to focus on. If you want to do the challenge, it's $100, okay? And I'll go over all the stuff here in a second. But you're going to need, okay? Here's what you're going to need. You need a wearable, okay? If you have an Apple Watch, you can download an HRV app. You're going to have to sleep with your Apple Watch on, okay? And you're going to have to then charge it at a different time during the day. So like when you go to take a shower, yep, take it off, put it on, let it charge, do the thing, or like you're just chilling, watching TV, but it's gotta be on you when you're definitely going to bed, okay? Just make sure you silence all of the notifications. Don't want that. Or you can wear a Whoop. I'm giving you guys a referral code for a bonus on that, so you guys will get a free month, you'll get a free Whoop, and then you guys can do that. That is like, this is the second time I've used a Whoop. The first time I used it during COVID, it was awful. I never recovered. So bad. I was trying to keep a gym going that was not allowed to be in function. So make sure that your HRV can be done through a wearable, through a Whoop. It can be through an Aura ring, okay? So if you like rings and you don't want to wear something on your wrist, an Aura ring would work, but you got to also wear it while you work out then, okay? So if you don't mind working out with a ring on, you can do that. I don't have a code for that to give you, but I did find out that if you have an American Express Platinum, they now added that and they give you a credit, I think for $300 for a year. So you can basically get an Aura ring for free, okay? So if you have Amex Platinum, that just came through. What's that?
We all have those.
Yeah, I mean, I figured. I mean, why not? Yeah. Not the black card, just the next step. So resting heart rate is the next thing that we're focusing on. VO2 max, steps. Why are we doing steps? You're not allowed to answer. Why are we doing steps?
To walk my dog.
To walk your dog. Come on, Chinyi. So some of you, yeah, that'll be your zone 2. Like when I started my zone 2, I kid you not, it's like this. It's the most embarrassing thing. You're like, I want to improve my running. All you have to do is start by walking. And then after walking, you're like, oh, I'm not even getting to zone 2 anymore. You put on a vest and walk on inclines, like find hills to climb, and just do that repeatedly. And that'll get you into zone 2. And then after you've done that with a vest, then you go to like a light jog, and it looks ridiculous. And people are like, why don't you walk? And you're like, cause I'm working on something. Last week I had a major breakthrough. I was finally able to run. I followed a specific protocol, 3 different bouts of 20 minutes, okay? And I was able to do all 5 miles for high rocks training, all in zone 2. I was like, yes! And it sucked. Because you have to stay a consistent, steady time the entire time. You're not allowed to pick it up. And so like certain music will spike your heart rate. And if you watch certain teams with sports, your heart rate will spike because, yes! So watch teams that suck, and then you'll be able to do zone 2 longer. But steps for daily activity to lower your resting heart rate, to lower your stress, to improve your resting heart rate. That's what the steps are there. So these things are all combined here with that. And then the nutrition. We're gonna only focus on 2 things, protein and calories. You're going to get your scorecard, or you're gonna take an InBody. The InBody is gonna give you your basal metabolic rate on there, and we're gonna go either at, or we're gonna add 100 calories. That's it, okay? And then your protein target is going to be your lean body mass, so that we're gonna keep your lean body mass that you have. So, scoring system, because there's gotta be winners, baby. You ain't first, you're last. Okay? HRV, 4 points a day. 4 points. 2 points if logged daily. So if you just show up, you get that. +1 if it's greater than your 7-day rolling average. Okay? So when would you get that? You could get that after your first week. You're gonna start accumulating an extra point once you have a foundational base. +1 if it's greater than your HRV baseline. So you could have up to 4 points a day. Resting heart rate, max 3 points a day. 2 if it's logged daily, 1, if it's less than or equal to your resting heart rate baseline. Okay? 3, VO2 max. 2 points if zone 2 or zone 5 session is completed. What do you have to do there? Huh? Not just Thursday, because we have zone 2 or zone 5 typically every day of the week. Got to show up to the gym. You got to come in and work out. Okay? +2, if you do those things. +1, if a weekly check-in and VO2 is above baseline. So if you go and you go to do, if you wear a wearable, like a Whoop, it's going to take you a full month to get VO2 max data. So for weekly check-in, you go for a, here's how you would do it. You go for a 12-minute run, establish your baseline, see if you've improved just from doing it. Okay? If weekly check-in and VO2 is above baseline, you get a point. But here's how you do it. You do 12 minutes or you push. And then from there, the remaining of that time is 45 minutes in zone 2. Does that make sense? Who doesn't understand that? It's okay if you don't. So you're going to do 12 minutes. You'll find out what it is. Okay? Save that data. And then you finish the rest of the time in 45 minutes in zone 2. Boom. Now you've done both things and you get points. All you have to do is do this 1 time a week. And if you just show up to the gym, you're going to at least get a zone 5 in. So that means that when you're here, you're pushing it. Or you're doing zone 2 because you came out on Thursday. Cool? Steps, 2 points a day. +1 if it's greater than 75 or equal to 7,500 steps. +2 if it's greater than or equal to 10,000 steps. Cool? Lex, how many are you still getting a day? Average 18. How much weight did you lose? Yeah. So what did I tell you that has to change after you lose all the weight? Maintain it. That's it. Just maintain the lifestyle. You earned it. You got there. So great job. Nutrition, max 3 points a day, +1 if your protein goal is hit. So greater than baseline, target. So what I told you, I don't need you to worry about this part right here. I'm just telling you it's going to be off your lean body mass. So if you do just hit your lean body mass, because some of you are like, I can't even do that. It's going to be a lower score than what we typically give you, which is your weight. +1 if calories are within a goal range, plus or minus 150 calorie buffer. So let's just say your baseline is 1,500. One day is going to be 60, and you're like, ended up being 1,650 for the day. Still hit it. I only had 1,450. Just wasn't really that hungry today. I didn't, it was a rest day and I only hit 1,450. Still hit it. You're still in that buffer. If it was less than or over than that number, then you wouldn't get a point for it. +1 if both protein and calorie goals are hit. Cool? Now, any questions on that before I move on? Bonus points. 5 points if your weekly streak, all 7 days are logged. Why? Consistency is king. Show up doing the work. 3 points if you social post us and tag us at Pendulum. Extra little perk. Okay, so if you're like, man, I struggled. All right, well, got to get back in the game somehow. Social post, boom. You're back in the game. I'm going to eat like trash tonight. My HRV is going to be low. Doesn't matter. I'm going to social post in the morning. Gloat about how bad I was. The next thing, Robert's like, man, now I got to get on social media. Not happening. Okay? So, leaderboard. We're going to track the cumulative points for all 5 metrics. This is going to keep members engaged by showing you guys multiple paths to winning. Someone with a weaker in VO2 max can still excel through consistency and steps in nutrition. So just because you have a low VO2 max does not mean that you're going to be anything better than somebody else. Okay? We're going to have an Excel sheet that we're going to send to you guys that will be in view only, that will be updated twice a week so that you can see the leaderboard. It's very detailed. So example daily score, your HRV log +2 points, above baseline 1 point, resting heart rate log 2 points.